Now, welcome to our review of the first episode of Secret Invasion, called Resurrection. Which means if you haven't seen this yet and you don't want anything ruined, you might want to click away and come back after you have seen it. Alright, so, what'd you think?
I think it had promise. I think there was a lot of things that they're going about the right way. I think it had the right tone. Kept a very nice, serious tone.
That I really enjoyed, the tone.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since Marvel took itself seriously, I feel like.
Right. And they're putting the right answers in there before, when I start to ask the question, well, how do you know if it's a Skrull? Wouldn't you just ask them a question they wouldn't know? They're like, look, they're stealing brains.
Well,
okay.
They weren't stealing brains, they were stealing, well, kind of in a way they were, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very clever.
Well, yeah,
they're answering these questions that I'm like, well...
Because that is the biggest question, right? You can't just get their knowledge and who they are. You have to...
Right, it can't just look like them.
Looking like them, yeah.
You need a little more than that, or you're just going to fall for being, you're going to be tricked by a Skrull. I like that they seem to have come up with, like, a solid plan, too, to make this work. Like, the Skrulls aren't just like, we're going to take over the Earth, ha ha ha. No, there's this solid plan. They're like, we'll drop some nukes, because Skrulls are immune to radiation. Yeah, clearly the food they eat is also immune because they live in a irradiated place where they're growing food they can eat.
Probably grows from the radiation is my guess. I mean, just because you're...
I don't think it grows from the radiation because
I think
he was growing one, Talos was growing one in honor of his wife back at the flat or whatever.
Yeah, but it showed that it could grow without the radiation, but I think when you have the radiation, it grows faster
better.
And more efficiently, yeah.
No, possible.
I think that's the best.
Could just be that radiation doesn't affect it like it doesn't affect them.
I'm going to go that it grows off of it. I think that makes more sense that it just doesn't affect it because otherwise you're going to nuke the whole world. You're going to destroy everything else on the world. I mean, if you actually like this world...
They're using it to get rid of the people, though.
Well, here's the little thing about nuclear weapons. They do a little more than get rid of people. They get rid of pretty much anything in their path.
But they may not care. Maybe it's their form of terraforming.
Sure.
If they're not affected by the radiation and their plant life can still grow despite it.
See, now you're seeing where I'm coming from. That makes more sense if you're going to tell me, like, the planet they come from, they're not just immune to radiation, but they actually kind of thrive off of it, or the plant life of the flora and fauna, who knows?
Either way, they're not affected, and the plants they grow are either being strengthened by the radiation, or at the very least are not affected by the radiation, just like they.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it makes more sense. We're going to nuke the planet, and you're just going to destroy everything else.
Hey, I would burn down this house if a big enough spider was in it, so...
You would, actually.
The basic plot is they're going to use that to get rid of the people.
Yeah, they're going to create a nuclear war.
It's clever, the way they decided to send that up, because they set it up in a way that makes sense for them. I mean, they're a terrorism, and they're not going to hurt their own people. They're just going to get rid of everybody else.
Well, they still can't be caught in the blast, right? They have to be... It's not like they're going to survive a new... I mean, this isn't Lord of the Rings of Power.
No, but they are willing to make some sacrifices. There are zealots, some of them, in a way.
Well, sure, but, they're not all going to be in the cities and destroyed and...
I mean,
you have to be careful when everybody's firing off nuclear weapons that you're not getting caught in the actual blast of this.
Well, that's why they're hanging out in areas where people aren't populating.
Yeah, they're hanging out in old nuclear facilities, which you're not going to nuke because you're going to figure nobody's there and there's no strategic value to it, I'm assuming.
Maybe they figure once they take out enough of the big populous centers, they won't have to worry about humans anymore.
Yeah,
they'll just all shed their skin and take out anyone they see left.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how big of a war they're looking for because there's still a nuclear winter. See, that's my problem. Like, I can't just be like, oh, they're going to nuke the planet and get it. Like, I'm thinking, well, are they okay with nuclear winter too? Because that's going to radically change
they're probably
temperature
okay
and sunlight and other fun stuff.
They'll be okay.
I guess.
Or they're going to go about it slower. I mean, remember with Talos, they was talking about how old he is. They live a long time. They just have to take things out slowly. Let's say they wanted Russia to go after the United States. I believe that's what their first goal here is.
I think they're trying to incite a nuclear war between the two, which will pretty much just nuclear war the whole planet.
Right, so once they take out the superpowers and their weapons and their armies, they can start infiltrating and moving up the ranks and eventually take over from within.
Yeah, I guess.
De-arming them and all that good stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, after a nuclear war, there's not going to be a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. But they'll be fine. They'll be strong.
Yeah.
They just needed to get rid of anything that could stand in their way. They're probably presuming this will kill any superheroes that are hanging around, too.
Yeah, where are all the other superheroes at?
Well, this is all undercover right now, so they don't know because Fury hasn't told anybody.
Like, is Fury not able to get in contact with Captain Marvel at this point?
Well, Rhodey was trying to get hold of him, if that is indeed Rhodey.
I don't think it's going to be Rhodey.
I don't think so, because he's already sowing, like, discontent.
Yeah.
Like, we have to assume they're AWOL right off the, I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean, technically, they are, but
But
you're trying to, you're framing it in a way to make it sound like they're doing something bad or nefarious.
like he has no faith that Fury would possibly be there for any good reason.
Yeah, it's not like he has this history of trying to covertly do things for the greater good or anything.
You don't give him any...
You give him not one shred of credit.
No shred of
He's
credit.
gone off the reservation.
There's no seed of doubt.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
I still hate when they do so much in the dark because it's hard to see during the day. I mean, honestly, it's sometimes.
There was a lot of darkness, yeah.
Not as bad as Willow, but...
No, not as bad as Willow. Depends on when you watch it. If you're watching it at night or in the middle of the morning when it maybe launches, not an issue, but...
I thought Emilia Clarke's character seemed really good.
So far, so good.
I like her as an actress, and I thought she seemed really good. The emotions, she was very believable.
She was fine, yeah.
But that was predictable. I was like, as soon as I saw her walking through with the bags and stuff, I'm like, she's going to betray them.
Well, yeah.
She's for the cause.
It's not like they're going to solve it in the first episode and everything's going to be all peachy.
I was hoping she was going to turn out to be a good person. I was like, maybe she's not one of the warriors. Maybe she's really in there because she wants to help the colony of Skrulls that live there. No. It's interesting, though. Do all the Skrulls always know when they're talking to a Skrull?
You mean, do they know, other... I don't think so.
Like, if two people meet in the street, do they both know they're Skrulls?
Should they give off,
Or does one know the other one's a Skrull?
a scent or something?
Yeah, but if they gave off anything, we'd be able to track it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Fury would have already developed that technology with the help of Talos.
So I'm going to say they don't know each other. I mean, they'll know if someone is impersonating... They won't be able to sense it, I guess I should say. They might know if someone is impersonating this person and...
Can Skrulls turn into other Skrulls?
I was wondering that too.
Can Talos turn into somebody else so that he could sneak into their camp?
Looks like a Skrull, yeah. It gets complicated then. It's a Skrull impersonating another Skrull impersonating a person.
This is perfect.
It reminds me of Tropic Thunder a little bit.
I'm just curious how deep the conspiracy will go. I'm hoping it stays intelligent the entire time and doesn't just devolve into something that doesn't make any sense. So right now they're on the right track.
Yeah, don't dumb it down.
Don't dumb it down. Said. Just keep doing it the way you're doing it.
When we were
don't
first
pull your
firing
punches.
Up, you're like, be like an Andor. Assume your audience is intelligent. And that they'll follow along.
We'll follow along. We get it.
Don't spell it out. Don't give us tons of exposition. Just let us follow the story and good characters.
If you're making a spy thriller, people who watch spy thrillers generally have an eye for this sort of thing.
Well, yeah, you generally want to be following something that's a little more tricky. You don't want
a little more complex.
You don't want to be spoon-fed when you're watching a spy thriller, right? There's no point.
Oh gosh, no.
What do you think about Maria Hill?
Oh my god, that was so sad.
Was it?
I mean...
I hate to say it, but I was like, eh.
I know she's always been in the background this whole time, but...
she's been a little too background, and she really
just
hasn't
the way
been around
that
lately.
she went, though, was like... She didn't get a hero's death or anything. They failed.
Well, at first I'm like, was that Fury shooting a Skrull, or... I didn't know if maybe Maria Hill was the Skrull and Fury was shooting her, or if Fury was the Skrull.
As soon as I was like, that's so sad. She's not getting a hero's death. She's getting gunned down in the street. I saw that coming, though, from a mile away. Not her getting shot, but the fact that the daughter was going to, double-cross them and the bombs were going to go off. I was like, it has to. You can't, save everything and fix everything in episode 1.
Well, exactly. You knew this is the episode where things start going wrong and we get introduced to the problem. So
right, because more of the world needs to get involved in this because we need to see this as the bigger problem.
Yeah. But it's a solid start, I'd say.
I think it's a very solid start. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm glad they went with 6 episodes. I'm glad they have a longer run time, that they're not trying to just jam it into half an hour or
not doing like Mandalorian.
Make extra episodes for no reason.
Yeah.
This episode wouldn't have been good as 2 half-hour.
No, I mean...
It needed the full run. And, I mean, they've got a bunch of good actors and actresses in this, so you know what? Go for it. Make us a good show. Just don't get hokey on us. You can do it, Marvel.
I don't think it's going to get hokey. I don't think you're going to have that unnecessary humor. This isn't Guardians of the Galaxy or Love and Thunder. This is what I want out of the MCU. I want it to take itself seriously.
And this was a serious storyline. This was a big story in the Marvel Comics history. So I want it treated with reverence and respect. Yeah, you look at the Phase 1 films, and yes, they had some humor, and they were a little more light, but they still took themselves seriously. That's where, in my opinion, Marvel has gone wrong. They just have leaned so heavily into the humor and the ridiculousness that it's hard to care when you don't feel like they care about what they're putting out there. I agree.
So this looks like
yeah.
they care. It looks like there was thought put into it. Looks like as you said, there's some good performances here already. So fingers crossed that this was the start of something good. I mean, I didn't think it was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was a solid start, and I'm curious for more.
Right.
Well, that's going to be all we got for you this time. So now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you thought of the first episode of Secret Invasion. Did you like it? Did you love it? Or is it maybe not so good? Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below and let's talk some Marvel. And until next time, thanks for watching.